She's the self-proclaimed tastiest peach in Atlanta, but she's also got a few bruises. From stripping as Silk to dropping her mugshot merch, NeNe Leakes spins heartbreak into gold. After escaping a difficult childhood, Leakes became a single mother at 23. She had just walked out of an abusive relationship with a man she later compared to Jekyll and Hyde. As she recalled to Essence, "He's extremely sweet and caring and all those things, but he has a flip side. When we got ready to go to bed, he took out a gun and laid it on the nightstand. That should have been my warning." Struggling to keep a roof over her and her son's heads, Leakes searched newspaper ads for work. Once a model along with her roommate, the pair answered a call for nude models and assumed it was for art. Instead, Leakes was soon dancing under the name Silk at a strip club. But as she told Uncensored, "I made a ton of money, and I couldn't stop." Although she doesn't regret her hard hustling days, Leakes had some sleazy experiences, especially after she started working underground when her family found out. She wrote in her 2009 memoir, "Never make the same mistake twice. Men can do some really filthy things in the club." Leakes wrote in her book about once applying for a passport and discovering that the name she assumed was on her birth certificate, Lenethea Johnson, wasn't the name that was registered. Her birth name was actually Lenethea Benita Smith, and Curtis, who she always thought was her biological dad, was not. Although she and Curtis weren't close, she wanted the truth about her history.
Curtis is not my father.
So who is?
I don't know.
She then began the search for her biological father. She eventually found him, but it became one of her biggest regrets. Not only was the meeting awkward and uncomfortable, Leakes said that having a relationship with him wasn't even possible. But things with Curtis also changed after that. Confirming she still considers Curtis to be her dad, she shared with Andy Cohen,
I don't think he considers me his daughter anymore. That really hurt my dad. He's never really talked to me again since then.
Leakes has certainly come a long way since her 20s, when she had several brushes with the law. She was open about the first arrest in her autobiography, describing how she and a friend used to steal clothes from the mall. She recalled, "We called this hustling. The police? They called it shoplifting." One weekend, security waited until the two girls left together before sending the police to chase them down in their car. Before she knew it, Leakes was being fingerprinted and arrested. Star magazine also uncovered court docs showing that Leakes had been caught scamming her phone company in 1992. The reality star, who was 25 at the time, pled guilty to 3 felony and 1 misdemeanor counts of theft of services. She was sentenced to 2 years probation and a $2,650 fine. But her problems didn't end there. Leakes ran into the law again when she was arrested 3 times for violating probation over the next 2 years.
A mugshot does not equal 10 years in prison for doing a Ponzi scheme. I ain't spent a day in jail doing nothing, honey, okay?
Still, in a totally on-brand move, the Atlanta housewife embraced her past by making it fashion, as she posted to Instagram in 2018, "From mugshots to millions." NeNe met Gregg Leakes back when she was still known as Silk at work, and the two got married in 1997. And while they were an iconic couple from the start of Real Housewives of Atlanta, fans quickly noticed a little trouble in paradise. On season 3, NeNe met with a divorce attorney, but seemingly still wanted her relationship to work. She admitted, "I want it to be a wake-up call for Gregg." But Gregg was then caught ranting about his wife to an online radio host, claiming that he started her career by shelling out $300,000 during season 1 of Housewives. As Gregg reportedly said on the leaked tape, "And the thing got to her head. I'm asking for every dime of it back."
Now, fortunately for you, they recorded everything you said.
Gregg later threatened legal action over the recording, insisting that he thought he was just venting to a friend. Although Gregg tried to explain his way out of the situation, NeNe insisted her trust had been shattered. Later, she filed for divorce. She told Uncensored,
I felt like at that time that Gregg wasn't treating me the way I felt I should be treated. And it was me teaching Gregg a lesson.
Gregg and NeNe hit another rough patch when the reality star publicly accused her husband of sending flirty text messages to Juanita Marshall, manager of NeNe's swag boutique. Sources told Page 6 that NeNe fired the manager as soon as rumors started swirling, but Marshall insisted in 2020, "Gregg never propositioned me. I left willingly because at the time, it was just out of hand. It was too much drama for me." Fans were quick to point out that NeNe had already vaguely hinted at the situation, asking fans on Twitter in 2019, You find out your husband or boyfriend been talking on the phone regularly to one of your female employees as just a friend, but you had no knowledge of it. Did he cross any lines? She later revealed that Gregg flew off the handle when she called from the store to ask about Marshall, but as soon as she hung up, Marshall's phone lit up. NeNe recalled to lip service that she told Marshall to leave immediately. Gregg denied any cheating and claimed he and Marshall only formed a connection because NeNe was so busy.
I couldn't do this without you. I couldn't. I wouldn't even try. So I want to thank you, baby.
In 2021, NeNe confirmed that Gregg had tragically succumbed to his battle with colon cancer. They had been married for over 2 decades, and he was 66 at the time. Gregg was first diagnosed in 2018, and the couple's journey with chemo had been documented on the show. Although he went into remission a year later, his cancer returned in 2021. NeNe later shared with People magazine, "The last 5 days before his passing was really beautiful. All of his children were there. His best friends were there. Our closest friends were there. We all sat with him around the clock." Despite the ups and downs of their marriage, NeNe assured Gregg that she never wanted to be with any other man. She recalled, "I said, I married you twice, crazy man. I thought I would be scared, but I just held him and kissed him. I keep thinking to myself he's away on a trip and he'll be right back. I'm still waiting for him to come home." 2 years later, NeNe paid tribute to Gregg on what would have been his 68th birthday. She posted to Instagram, "I feel like you went somewhere and you'll be back. I miss you every day." When NeNe walked away from the Real Housewives franchise in 2020, she insisted that it was a tough choice at which to arrive. She made the announcement to fans in a YouTube video, but there was no love lost between leaks and producers. She proved this by suing them for allegedly violating federal employment and anti-discrimination laws. Leaks took the Bravo network to court for what official docs described as fostering a corporate and workplace culture in which racially insensitive and inappropriate behavior is tolerated, if not encouraged. She claimed that network execs like Andy Cohen punished her for complaining about co-star Kim Zolciak's ongoing racism. As the Los Angeles Times reported, NeNe testified that the network did nothing to curb Kim's alleged slurs and offensive stereotypes toward her co-stars. She said, "They did not terminate their relationship with Zolciak Bierman, nor take any other meaningful action to put an end to her racially offensive behavior."
Kim is too much.
Instead, Bravo rewarded Kim with an 8-season spin-off just about her and her family called Don't Be Tardy. According to People, Kim responded to the allegations by insisting, "NeNe knows what she's saying is not true in regards to me." Leaks eventually dropped the lawsuit in 2022. While it seemed as if NeNe had already been put through the ringer in recent years, she was blindsided by her son Brent's medical emergency in October 2022. As TMZ reported, inside sources claimed he had been visiting Atlanta when a heart attack and stroke sent him to the hospital. Brent had only just turned 23 that February. After the story broke, NeNe posted to Instagram,
"This is not the way I wanted it to come out. We wanted to be able to talk about it ourselves when Brent was in a better place."
Still, she confirmed that doctors had tested Brent for HIV and COVID and had also ruled out alcohol, drugs, and complications related to his weight. They also speculated that it could be genetic, connected to NeNe's previous experience with blood clots in her lungs in 2013. NeNe also suggested that Brent's grief over Gregg's death could have been a ticking time bomb that almost became fatal. She shared, "He was very close to his dad, and he's been super stressed out over it." That may be true, but doctors didn't seem quick to agree with her theory in relation to the incident. Brent is reportedly still in recovery and facing difficulties with his speech, but as NeNe revealed, she was in close contact with her son and his mood had been improving. Thanking fans for the love and support, she said, "We're just shocked. But I thank all of you guys for your prayers." If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic abuse, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You can also find more information, resources, and support at their website.